Figure 1.23 shows the distance from home in miles of a person on a 5-hour trip. So on the graph, do notice that you have, along the horizontal axis, the time is measured in hours, and along the vertical axis, the distance is measured in miles. So if we'll notice, we can notice a couple points fairly easily. So the intercept is found right here at 0, 300. And we also have a point up here that's easy to recognize. And that's at 4, 500. So we know 2 points. We'll label this point 0, 300. And we'll label this point 4, 500. So if I wanted, I could put some values in a table. So I'll put here T, time in hours, and then D as the distance in miles from home. So at time 0, at the beginning of this trip, they started off 300 miles from home. And at some point, 4 hours later, they were 500 miles from home. And we could see that there may be some other points that are easy enough to label. So here there's, put in 2, and it looks like that's at 400 miles from home. And at 5, it might be easy enough to guess that in 5 hours they will be 550 miles from home. So here I have a table of values. Thus far I've used a graph. That's what the problem was given to us in a graph. We've used a table. All right, we just identified some points on the graph. We put those in a table. Now I could come up with a formula. And so to come up with a formula, I need to know what the slope is. So I need to know for every 1 hour increase in the input, right, how many miles am I going to increase in the output? So I'll actually here use the slope formula. So I'll take 2 points. So what are your favorite 2 points? I'll just take these 2 points right here. I'll call this point 1. Call this point 2. And so if we think about our slope formula, people like to use M for the slope. So our slope formula would be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So using these 2 points, I would end up with the y values, 500 minus 400, divided by the input values of 4 minus 2. This would give us 100 divided by 2, which is 50. So if we'll notice, that's 50 miles per hour. So for every 1 unit increase in the time, so for every 1 hour increase in the time, we have a 50-mile increase in the distance from home. So if that's the slope, we know the intercept was over at 0, 300, so we could construct a formula here that expresses the distance d as a function of the number of hours. And so I could put in 50t plus 300. So d equals 50t plus 300 would be a formula that would also describe this function. Formula, table, graph.